di ba parang yung traditionally we would have if a situation like this developed, the first thing you would have to do is contain. And previously, yung containment dealt with physical containment. You determined who comes in, who goes out. No? But in this particular instance, I think we will have to explore also the possibility of yung unfettered communications. No? There might be cell phone jammers at some point in time that we will have to employ so that you can control the flow of information to people who would hold the populace at risk. Now, all of these things, syempre, we're all brighter in hindsight, but these things will be attended to. The only objective now is to ensure that such a tragedy does not happen again. But in case there are perpetrators who will do the same, you can have the gamot, di ba? Democratic states like America has had several terrorist incidences already. You can have dictatorial regimes that are not immune, no? Where there is no freedom, but still they have managed to conduct terrorist activities. So we will strengthen, we will improve not only capabilities but actual dispositions of these troops, so that they are always ready to handle any situation.
Rose Miranda, Opabante.
Mr. President, there were efforts now from the Senate to revive the death penalty law as triggered by the recent hostage incident. What is your official position on this?
I will have to think about that. There is still the question of whether or not our judicial system has adequately protected the rights of everybody. One thing that I did discover as a member of the legislature was, for those of us who are poorer in this society, we are left with no option but to acquire the services of the Public Attorney's Office. And the Public Attorney's Office is swamped, flooded with so many cases. Typically, they would have anywhere from 30 to 50, I understand, cases per day. And how do you prepare adequately for all the 30 to 50 cases? And what is the level of service that we can render in protecting the rights of every citizen? So until we are sure that everybody has been afforded every opportunity to air his side, then I don't think it is appropriate for us to embark on something that cannot be taken back. Once you execute somebody and then eventually discover that there was a travesty of justice, how do you revive that which you killed initially? But we will study this matter. Judicial reform, as you know, is one of the priorities of our administration.
Gina Benko.
Good afternoon, sir. Manila Police Chief General Magtibay has offered to resign, has offered to go on leave in view of the hostage crisis. Are you going to accept his offer? And there are also doubts regarding his competence and that of PNP Chief Versosa. How much confidence do you still have in these two men?
Alam niyo, yung inang hirap naalala ko siguro yung kasabihan nung tayo po nag-umpisa sa politika. Pag meron isang tao humingi sa'yo ng 10 bagay na pagbigyan mo ng 10, yung pang 10 ang hindi mo napagbigyan, yun ang naalala. Marami naman yata achievement si Director Versosa. Under administration, yung initially, what comes to mind, look at your extra-legal killings. Given the necessary support within the first 3 weeks to include the commission of the crimes, na-solve yung 3 of the 6. Diba? In spite of the fact that in one of those that were solved, there was an active non-cooperation tact adopted by the family of the victims. And then there are others that have been attended to by General Versosa, but I think he's competent enough to answer that. With regards to General Magtibay, I respect him for, number one, taking full responsibility as ground commander for the outcome of this incident. I've directed General Versosa to accept his offer of leave, and we are in the process of coming up with the names that will be submitted to the Mayor of Manila to choose from as found in the PNP law. This will be effected, I assume, by the latest tomorrow.
Raymond Tinasa.
So good afternoon. Just a reaction to the KBP statement where it states that KBP, as a responsible organization, will continue to give reminders to its members on crisis situation coverages with public interest as a primordial concern. But KBP is also saying they are totally against the news blackout coverage or news blackout during this situation.
Pag-uusapan po natin yan, pero at the end of the day nga, kung meron ka ng inaasikasong hostage, tapos ikaw pa yung crowd control ng media, para may pahirapan naman yata masyado yan. Ulitin lang po natin, yung kapulisan po natin at kasaduluhan, hindi ho lumaki mula noong 1986. Parehong-pareho numero. So yung hindi lang naman ho sa crisis situation sila kasama eh. Sa ordinary matters like traffic, kasama po sila. At ang dami pang mga ibang bagay. So ulitin lang po natin, no, kung tayong dalawa nagtutulungan dito in the sense of being, di ba, attentive to the needs of the other, bakit hindi tayo pwede magkaroon ng working relationship na matutugunan ng pangangailangan ng bawat isa? Pero kung tayo ay di ba, kung kayo po yung pulis at nakikipaghabulan kayo doon sa naghahanap ng panibagong angulo at scoop, na pwede naman kayo nagbabantay ng perimeter kung dinadagdagan yung threat, siguro naman dapat ang prioridad yung threat at hindi po yung hindi threat. So yun lang naman ang pakiusap namin. Magkakaroon ng sitwasyon dito na kada, di ba, inahabol ho nyo, bawasan yung tinatawag na variables. No? Hindi natin malaman kung ano mangyayari pag na-introduce tong factor na to sa equation. Tulad doon ng pagpasok ni SPO to Mendoza, siya po traffic, hindi po niya saklaw itong crisis management, ito pong hostage negotiations. Hindi ho yata siya nag-clear nung pumasok siya sa umpisa. Dumire-diretso na lang siya at yung ahong una, may perimeter kayong sinesecure na hindi pwedeng labas-pasok kung sino man. Pagpasok niya at tinanong kung sino siya, nakapkapan yung major na negotiator at nakapan may baril. No? So medyo hindi ho ganun kaliwanag kung bakit imbis na, di ba, nakipag-ugnayan siya sa nakakataas niya mga opisyal bago tumugod sa bus, dire-diretso siya doon. No? Pwede ho sa napagkamalan na dagdag na threat. No? At kung nagkaroon ng perception na may imminent harm na papasok sa mga hostages, baka may mas malala pa ho nangyari. So kahina-hinala po yan. So ulitin lang ho natin, no? Yun ho, bawal na bawal. Alam rin niyang bawal yon. Kung tayo naman ho nga, kabuuan ng luneta, talagang, di ba, hinahabol natin lahat na huwag manghimasok. Yung mga, hindi lang naman po media, no? Yung usisero, yung mga gusto magpasikat, etc. Kawawa naman ho yung ating security forces na napakarami ng dagdag na trabaho nila. Yung para sa kalaman lang ng lahat, no? Yung may mga M16 na rifle ngayon na umaabot ng 800 meters yung accurate fire. So kung titignan nyo, maglalagay pa kayo ng margin, baka 1 kilometer ang pinag-uusapan natin ito. Ilang kaya sa inyo papayag na 1 kilometer away? So kaya kailangan natin pag-usapan talaga na maayos to, na wag madagdag na mapahamak ang sino man o magkaroon ng pag-asa mapahamak ang sino man.
Maricel Halili, TV5.
Hi, sir. Good afternoon. Sir, who will be part of the delegation that will be sent to Hong Kong? Kailan po sila pupunta doon? And ano po yung directives nyo sa kanila?
Well, the Vice President and the Secretary of Foreign Affairs and the Presidential Spokesman will be part of this delegation. They are today conducting the necessary arrangements with the embassy to travel to Beijing and to Hong Kong. In Beijing, they will personally deliver our messages to President Hu Jintao and also the Foreign Minister. And then they will then proceed to Hong Kong to talk to the Chief Executive of the Special Administrative Region, Mr. Donald Chang, to deliver our letters to the respective officials.
Last question na po ito mula kay Vance Fernandez.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm curious, sir, where will you get all these allocated funds or the expenses you're going to shoulder for the Hong Kong nationals?
Yung offhand, but I will have to clear this up with the DBM. Of course, we have the President's Social Fund, and perhaps we can identify certain savings already that have already taken effect. We have tasked the DBM, amongst others, to do away with a lot of the secretaries, undersecretaries, assistant secretaries without portfolios who used to have their respective salaries, benefits, and staffs. And then there are other savings that have been identified, but I will have to work with the DBM to get the actual details. As you know, the DBM secretary is presently in the midst of the budget. We have just submitted the budget to both chambers of Congress.
And that brings to a close our press briefing for this afternoon. Maraming pong salamat, Mahal na Pangulo.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.